good news is the Cavs can play well and not worry about it because Chicago's playing well also and knocking themselves up.
I guess my thing is, you know, you could drive yourself nuts on this, whether you got the 2nd seed or the 4th seed or whatever, but...
Well, there's no guarantee, Zion, that you're going to get Zion Williamson.
No.
That's number one. There's no guarantee that you'll be able to pick the right guy out of the next 2, 3, 4 guys. And
I mean, Luka Doncic by far is the best player in the draft. He was the 3rd pick.
Right.
By far. The only guy who made an impact on his team. By the way, Dallas has already won more games since Doncic came to them than they did all last year. The rest of these guys that went to the Suns and whatever, those teams are just stumbling around last year, and they're still stumbling along. Trae Young goes to the Hawks. They weren't very good last year. They may be slightly better this year.
But you still have guys, the experts, who can look at Zion Williamson and say this guy's a no-brainer. There's these guys you can look at also, in addition to Williamson, of course, 21.6 points per game. Played 33 seconds the other night and injured his knees. Lucky man. R.J. Barrett, also of Duke. And then you see Morant from Murray State. Not a name you hear much of, but he's got almost 25.5 points a game.
I've seen some highlights of him. Morant is outrageously athletic. And the 10.5 assists. I really haven't checked in. How did that guy ever end up at Murray State? So I don't know.
Instead of one of the bigger schools. Bigger basketball
I mean, I will say Zion Williamson to me is one of the better prospects I've seen in several years in college because he actually does sort of play a team game of basketball. And he reminds me of Charles Barkley, only far more refined and skilled than Barkley was at Auburn or even early in his career.
Well, the body type is the same, even though some of Charles was just fat.
Set, right, but both of those guys were incredibly leaping and athletic despite their girth, shall we say.
Yeah, you know, Charles would lead the league in rebounding, and not because he was so heavy and can run over guys. It's because he was so athletic. Yeah,
the big thing if you're a rebounder is how do you move side to side, your lateral movement. Because, you know, that it isn't, because somebody, you could position yourself inside, but the rip, you know, goes a step or two this way or that way. A lot of these guys, for example, I like Zizic a lot, Wes, as a there.
He shows every once in a while. He looks legit.
He can score inside if they ever ran a low post offense, but he has trouble moving side to side defensively, and that hurts him some. He's just not very quick laterally, and I don't know how you develop that.